Yes, I mean, look, this was a really important next step. Early this morning, the legal team filed an amended petition with the court, and we're ultimately asking.
Y'all been sending me videos from all around the world. Look, I compiled these things and I put them together and I created a cohesive story of what's going on in the world. Y'all know how we get down on this channel. Make sure y'all go ahead and smash that like button. Let's get this video right here like 20,000 likes. Share this video with your friends and families. Let's crack that algorithm right on the head. Don't skip a thing or you will be lost in the sauce we building here today. But look, hopefully y'all in the building today and we're gonna get to this video. Make sure that you're going out here doing your own damn research. You are in charge of what you believe in. But look, at the end of the day, we're gonna chill, we're gonna rock out, we're gonna have a good time. Just know if you're going through a hard time, just know that we're going through this thing called life together. You're never in it by yourself. Let's get into this video without further ado.
The reason why your voice is so powerful and people always resonate with whatever you say is because your voice has a special frequency that emits vibrations of high energy that people feel whenever you talk. You have to fully understand that before you ever speak any words, they exist as a frequency which allows you the ability to manifest things within this physical plane. And this is the reason why you constantly find yourself speaking things into existence without even being aware of what you're doing in that moment. And this is also the reason why you may get downloads in a certain environment and feel the need to speak on them with whoever you're with, because you are a messenger for the Most High. You have the ability to receive intuitive knowledge and speak on it in an articulate enough way to where people don't understand how you're able to know these things. You need to be aware and fully understand the power that you have and utilize it to spread messages that align the planet with the higher timeline.
What color was kindergarten?
Kindergarten?
Yeah, when you was in kindergarten or pre-K, what color was it?
Ooh.
It was every color.
Yeah, I was gonna say rainbow.
Okay, now when you went to first to second grade, what color was it?
I don't know.
It was bland.
Yeah.
It was that color.
Yeah, it was
Like jail.
Exactly. Then when you went to high school, what color was it?
Like jail.
Yeah.
Okay, then when you went to work, what color was the wall?
Yeah.
It's waning you off the frequency. When you a kid, you vibrant, you running around, and then the first thing they do is they say, wane them off the frequency. Make the walls tan, make everything tan, make it boring. Sit down, don't move. They just get you right out to spirituality. And then the next time that you do get introduced to a colorful environment, guess where you at? You in a club. If the club was this color, nobody would go. But since it's black and it's universal light, aka from red to purple, it feel like you in the universe. It feel like you in the universe. So this is why people like the club. It's called colorology. Even hunger. Hunger is triggered by the color red, yellow, and orange. What color is Wendy's?
Yeah.
What color is Chick-fil-A, McDonald's? Every highly successful fast food franchise, I guarantee you, if they not all red, orange, and yellow, they have either one of them colors at a high value.
Yeah.
So this is people who literally socially engineer the world.
Are y'all seeing it now? Do y'all get it now? I have so many posts on this account talking about this same thing right here. Look at how vibrant the world used to be back then. Filled with personality. This goes for businesses, this goes for furniture. This pretty much applies to everything on the outside world. The society used to be different. And just so y'all can see that I'm not capping, look at what's parked in front of me. What color are these cars in front of me? Imagine showing up to the supermarket, showing up to your job, and this is how the parking lot looked like. Creativity is at an all-time low, and that's because the corporations got greedy, and it's all about consumerism. This is how parking lots look nowadays. Monotone, lifeless. Wherever you show up, I don't care if it's at a supermarket, if you go to the DMV, showing up to this parking lot, you don't think that you're gonna have a different sense? You're gonna feel more creative? It's the little things that we don't think about that's affecting our everyday routine. Things used to be about personality back then, individuality, uniqueness. Now everybody's trying to copy everybody. Everything's the same. They got us like robots out here. Get with the program so then you could get out of the program. It's really up to us at this point. And I wonder if there's ever gonna be a renaissance in art again.
You wanna know what's crazy? When I got stationed in Japan, when I got there, you would notice the difference between here and other countries, like between United States and other countries. is like, man, it's so colorful and bright. A lot of them are underprivileged and they don't have the things that we have in certain areas, but it's not like that everywhere. That's a misnomer. They like to make you think that everybody is starving and feed the children is everywhere. No, man, it's in every country has, poor spots, right? But it's colorful over there. And a lot of people in Japan are using their creative minds. That's why a lot of anime and a lot of different, cool shows come from out of Japan and places like China, is because they're colorful. And you will see people driving their vehicles and they have like grass on their dashboards. They have glowing lights all in their vehicles and stuff. They're very artistic. And imagine if we didn't have all these codes that we had to run by, and every house had to be the same and built by the same builders, and it has to be in this particular model and built like this. Y'all know how it is here. Once you're trapped in a box that's uncolorful. But let's keep going though. What are they trapping in this box? Your energy, maybe?
Dana Hotel, 660 North State Street. We walk into the hotel. They say we can't check in for another hour. Cool. We go down to the bar. We just Googling and sipping. I used to wear a cross chain. I used to wear a silver cross chain every day. We get to the bar. It's this white dude, blonde hair, blue-eyed dude. He got a little suit, and she got a suit on. You could tell it was a tailored suit. But I noticed his cufflinks. I only seen them cufflinks one time at the Hermes store with a client. I knew them cufflinks was like $15,000 for both. I'm like, damn, look at this man. I'm like, this dude got paper. But he got a smug look at me though. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, man, you want to get a drink? He said, I wouldn't have a drink with you. I'm like, what the fuck? So, but it was something weird about him though, because when I got close to him, I felt like I was in front of somebody who was like, I don't know, bro. Like it made the hair, like it gave me a weird feeling that I never felt before. So I'm like, man, I think to myself, hold on, where's my gun at? Is it in my book bag? Well, I got it on me. I'm thinking this. As I'm thinking about my gun, this man say, you wouldn't dare pull something like that out in a place like this. But I thought this. And then he responded to me based off what I thought. And Dugas said, what the fuck is he talking about? I say, nigga, something up with dude. He said, yeah, I don't like him, Gordo. I'm like, right. So I get my drink and he just standing there looking at us like we was crazy. And once we saw him though, it hit him. Damn, we seen him in Vegas. And we seen him at the airport. And we seen him at the chicken and waffle place. So I'm not gonna say that I met the devil, but we met one of them. Oh, bro, we met somebody. We met somebody. The Tesla have a biometric camera on it. If you take it down to the graveyard, it's gonna show people walking around. When you look out the window, you ain't gonna see nobody though. Why is that camera picking up a biometric human vibe? Why is it showing up on the camera? The little 3 times we went out with the exorcist, with the father, man. A little lady grabbed my hoodie and pulled me so close to her face. There's no way that little lady could pull me like that. And there's no way she could know the details about our life how she knew. I was raised in the church, I studied theology in college. I do believe there is an afterlife, and I do believe that there is I'm not gonna say heaven, I'm not gonna say hell, but I will say that you need to have your beliefs right when you die. Because if it's not, you can get stuck in the middle. And I'll leave it at that, bro.
Have you listened to the Telepathy tapes?
No.
You haven't?
I haven't listened to it.
It's a new podcast that's out. And it's all about this scientific research that was done with nonverbal autistic kids and their parents. And they were able to go into another room and they would bring up things to one, whether it was, I think they'd bring things up to the mom, or the mom would say things. The kid was accurate 95% of the time.
Wow.
With numbers, with colors.
Yeah.
Like 3 numbers in a row.
Yeah.
Like, you know how crazy that is, just to guess 3 numbers in a row 95% of the time?
Yeah.
Like, whatever it is, they think it's real. I'm only on episode 2. So, but it's really fascinating, man, because it's a dismissed thing. It's a woo-woo thing.
Sure.
But if it's real, shouldn't scientists study it like it's real? And it seems like through scientific study, it's real.
Yeah. I think it's definitely, you've probably experienced it. I've experienced it.
I think it's an emerging part of human consciousness that we don't agree to, or we don't admit to. Like, we know there's something there, but we're not like, that's too silly. It's just, there's so many people that fake it. That's the problem.
Right.
Because everybody like wants to have some special thing that they have.
My son said to me, I can hear thoughts. And I said, impossible. And he said to me, you don't get the kind of gifts that I have if you lie.
Let's please multiply 2.
Boy, I know a lot of people out here in the world ain't never gonna get this shit, because niggas just be lying, boy. The first thing come out they might just be lying. So look, yeah, I know some of y'all probably like sad right now. Yeah, you're not gonna get this because you just be lying like a motherfucker.
Numbers and see if he gets it.
Okay, what is it?
9, 0, 0.
Unbelievable.
1. Maybe shuffle again, Dr. Powell. Oh, wait.
Plus 2.
So he got the plus, too.
The first language that we ever spoke was telepathy.
Oh, don't mind me while I blow your freaking mind for a second. I am about to put you on to one of the most incredible and transformational things you will ever listen to in your life. So this is the Telepathy tapes by Kai Dickens, and it explores the cases of telepathic abilities within the most incredible group. It is individuals who are autistic and non-verbal. Now, I'm going to be doing a 4-video deep dive, but I want to give you guys the spark notes of it. So Kai was first introduced to the phenomenon of telepathy within non-verbal autistic individuals through a podcast that was featuring Dr. Diane Powell, who is a neuropsychologist that came from Johns Hopkins, and I believe she's at Harvard now. They talk of the tens of thousands of cases of mothers who think, my child can read my mind. But a lot of them don't bring it up because they just think they're crazy, or other people will think they're crazy. But they're not, and it's an incredibly common experience. So on the podcast with Dr. Powell, they set up these experiments with insane controls. It's crazy, it's crazy! They'll take someone like the mother, they'll put them in a room, they'll give them this random number generator, or they'll show them pictures. The other room, a child will be blindfolded. After the mother is shown something, the child will be told that they can take off the blindfold and then they can type into an iPad what they saw. These kids, they never miss. They never miss. They see through their mother's eyes. They hear what she's thinking. Oh, and if you think that's where it ends, no, we're just getting started. One of the reoccurring things that comes up when they talk to all of these various children, does not matter where they are in the world, they talk about something they call the hill. It is a place where they can all send their consciousness and talk to other children with the same abilities, other people with the same abilities. The podcast talks about a kid from Georgia who was best friends with a kid from Utah, and how they would talk every single day by going to the hill. So many of these children have been able to communicate through letterboards or typing. The podcast teaches you what that is. Here's some of the things that they wish the world would know. Number 1, that they know things. They know things that they can teach us, but no one will listen. Another quote that was incredible is they said, in my world, we don't speak, we communicate through our eyes. Another said, audible speakers, us, we only see one side of the story. There's so much to it that we don't know. It's so fascinating to me that every faith-based tradition talks about a time coming where the dumb shall speak. But I guess the question is, are you willing to listen? You need to listen to this. Everybody needs to. It's 9 incredible episodes. It is going to blow your mind. If you're not sold, let me give you a few more examples. They show examples of extraordinary cases of savantism, like a girl who knows dozens of languages without ever being taught. A boy who can instantaneously solve the most complex math equations because he sees them in colors. Many of the children have photographic memories and can recall complex data because they experience it. It can touch books and immediately know the contents. I'm not kidding. So why does this matter? This is Kai Dickens, by the way. Number one, it's going to show you the limitations that you put onto your own consciousness. Number two, it's going to expand your ideas of what consciousness is. And three, when you're done listening, you are going to see what I've been making content about, that we are living in a simulated reality or a holographic reality. This is not base reality. This is not what is real. It feels real. I get that. But there is a base that is more real, and you can tap into it. Like I said, I'm doing a 3-episode deep dive because this whole 3-minute video doesn't even scratch the freaking surface. It is time for you to open your eyes and experience truth. It is time to give a platform to these angels who are here on earth to teach us. We just need to listen.
And look, yo, how many of y'all know someone or yourself have experienced telepathy? Do you believe in it? Do you think it's real? With all the studies, they come back and show the same thing, that is pretty damn real. Just let me know in the comments down below, have you ever experienced it?
Show you what telepathy really looks like.
I wish someone was worth getting pregnant for. What? That's what I said. Getting pregnant for. I want him smelling really good and super into guys. My man has got to be in shape. Hey, a gentleman at heart. Eat it up. I couldn't care less how they stare or who DMs you. I only care about what they choose. Trips, nails, dinners.
While there are specialists and even just deeply empathic people who are so in tune, so hypersensitive that they are able to understand others and achieve telepathy, telepathy is almost always a result of a very strong bond and a lot of experiences between two people. So if you really want to start practicing telepathy, start becoming very aware of your dynamic with your best friend or with your closest siblings or with your parents, anyone who you can understand thoroughly even without words.
They tell you got 5 senses, yeah? Which is what? Sight, hearing, smelling, taste. But all of those are one because all of them deal with touch. Like for you to see something, light has to hit your retina, your eye. For you to smell something, you know, air and something has to touch your nose, yeah? The same with your taste. Something has to touch your taste buds or your tongue. The ear, you get sound waves, they have to touch your ear. All of that comes to one, which is touch or perception or awareness, yeah? Your other 4, which they kind of hide, is intuition, telepathy, psychometry, and as I said, clairvoyance. So with those 4 plus the 1, you actually have 5.
Okay, so do y'all remember drawing these as a kid? But I don't mean just like here and there. Were you one of those types of kids that drew these everywhere? Every notebook, on your sneakers, on your jeans, all over the place?
Now look, y'all know, look, I used to draw these joints all the time for no reason. This got me right here. When y'all sent this to me, this got me. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. But we're gonna build, so keep watching.
Okay. Are you now witchy, mystical, spiritual, the weird one in your friend group that always wants to talk about astrology? A lot of stuff is starting to make sense.
Be very careful about how we interpret what we read, especially the Bible. And I'll tell you why. When I research these secret societies, and I research the Bible, and by the way, I'm a Christian, so if you're a Christian, don't think I'm knocking your religion. I'm not. I'm just telling you what I found. I have found that at the very heart and core of all these secret societies lurks the Kabbalah. The Kabbalah is the ancient Jewish mysticism. It is a method of encoding information through a system of mathematics and numbers. It is some of the most ancient knowledge that man has ever possessed and has been kept secret and given only to those who have proven themselves worthy through the process of initiation. Nobody knows where it comes from. I can tell you this, it was there long before the Jews came along. The Jews just took it and preserved it, and they passed it down, and it's used by everybody. Because it's at the heart and core of the secret knowledge, the metaphysics, the real science that none of us know anything about. These people who belong to the secret societies never dared to write down in any language what they knew, what it was that they were guarding, because then someone could steal it and then the secret would be out. So they devised secret systems of encoding the secrets of the ages, the knowledge, the hidden knowledge, the occult. Now, occult doesn't mean evil. It doesn't mean the devil. It doesn't mean Satan. Occult means hidden. It means hidden. That's all it means. So they took this knowledge and they made it occult through a system of encoding, encryption, one of which is mathematics, numbers. Another is architecture. Everybody wonder, why do they have a fraternal organization called the Freemasons? Aren't those the guys that build walls? You bet they do. But every wall they build contains the secrets that have been kept and maintained throughout the ages, and it's encoded in the architecture and in the measurements of the buildings and in the mathematical formulas used to derive the geometry, the shape, the length and breadth and height of rooms. It's all encoded there.
First of all, like I said, we're trying to get you to start thinking 98% of your biblical scriptures are talking about on the inside other than the outside. You see, because your biblical scriptures came from where? It came from the Kabbalistic scriptures. And your Kabbalah is what? The tree of life, the autonomy of the body of God, which also comes from Egypt, which I'll show you the actual picture of the Kabbalah coming off the walls of Egypt of the temple of Como. And this is the same tree of life with the 10 sephiras, the same tree of life, and that comes from the temple of Como in Kemet. So this predates the Hebrew Kabbalah, but we understand now that the Hebrews was nothing but northern Ethiopians, and it was all black people, and it was different schools, just like you got a Clark, a Morehouse, a Morris Brown, where you would have Dendera, you would have Philae, you would have schools in Ethiopia. So we talk about a whole educational system, which they did not discriminate against each other, saying, oh, your God is foul and this God is that. It was all one God. And you're talking about different schools of theology that later times we misconstrue as a war against as far as different gods and one God becoming corrupt. That's the biggest bullshit ever. This is the Kabbalah. This is the tree of life. As you can see, this is Keva, which is the top scale. This is you down here. You are the lowest, you are the root. But anything is the root is the more primal or the most potent. You are the lowest, so therefore you are the lowest, but on the other hand, because you are low, the other planets are waiting on you. Because if you understand the Kabbalah, the root chakra rises to the top. Now remember, this is just like your body, just like you have your Kundalini chakra, which rises to the top, to Keva, which is your crown chakra.
At the time, and she said he's telling me that access to the interior of the pyramid might be closed down within the next 10 to 15 years. And I said, well, why is that? He said, well, NASA now owns the rights to the interior of the Great Pyramid.
Oh, shit.
I said, what? I said, say that again for me, please.
Wow.
NASA owns the rights to the access of the interior of the Great Pyramid. So why would a aerospace company have any interest whatsoever in a pile of rocks sitting in the desert? You got to ask yourself,
wow,
what's going on? There's something going on, and we don't have the full answer. We don't know the full story. NASA also has access and rights to Chaco Canyon. and they also have access and rights to an area inside the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
So why would they have all these 3 different locations on lock? There's something going on.
Very interesting, Billy. Very interesting. Let me ask you this, Billy.
I work with a 63-year-old man who was excited about his retirement, and one day he collapsed at work. Instead of calling an ambulance, they just sent him home, and he died on the way home. But in my mind, I never said this. I knew something bad was going to happen. I knew that the plan was for him to never retire. You spend your whole life working for people you never progress, that's slavery. And then they promise you retirement at the age where most people die. Why do they die, though? Because they got to poison everything you need to survive while they working you to death. They worried about population control. But if God sent life, why are they worried about the population unless they trying to control it? I was trying to let people know the retirement age is what it is for a reason. They really think people are just useless at that point, but they also expect you to die with all the poison they feed you. That man just happened to be the perfect example of that. So when I wake up and see this shit right here, I'm not surprised at all. I'm on a mission to tell people to stop fucking voting for other humans to have these type of decisions over our life. Y'all complain that they banning abortion, but who vote for them? You complain that they banning TikTok. Who voted for them? The black people will complain they don't treat us right in this country. They need to pay us reparations, but you vote for them. The same country who brought the idea and never paid for it. Y'all can't wait to get in line and vote for these motherfuckers. And when y'all hear people like me say this, you motherfuckers get scared and start shaking in your boots. We gotta vote. They want us to think our vote don't matter. No, they want you to think it do. It's called the illusion of inclusion. I don't know if y'all ever heard of that, but this is some real shit. But for those of y'all that don't get it still, let me explain it simply. I was playing a game and one of my little cousins wanted to play, but because they a kid, don't know what they doing and probably shouldn't be playing it, I figured, you know what, I'll satisfy them by giving them the controller that's not plugged up. But eventually the kid realized the light on their controller ain't on like the one on mine is. They don't want this one no more. The difference between them kids and us, we'll never get that shit. Your light is not on, but you think you're a part of some shit, huh? I've never seen so many grown men and women who out here raising children be afraid that they not voting for other men and women to tell us what the fuck to do with our life. Even down to reading the fake ass Bibles about men and women and how we supposed to live or what we supposed to do. People don't even realize that's pure manipulation. That's why there's no other species in the world that gotta read a book on how to be themselves. That's the most ignorant shit in the world because we have the rules and we still fail. What does that tell you? It's all bullshit. I need y'all to do me a favor and subscribe to my YouTube, Planet Reality.
Think about it, though. Think about it. Why have these organizations been taking control of structures, ancient sites, just to show you on TV limited versions of what you should be able to tap into? You get it? Just so you can feel like you're involved, like you know something, like you can go around here and you can repeat it to everybody. But it's restricted, it's dangerous. You can't go here, but they'll let you climb Mount Everest. I'm going to keep saying it over and over. It's just crazy. It just doesn't make sense. And when it don't make sense, you got to go find the answers, y'all. And it's right in front of us.
All right, brother. Let's dive into one of the most eye-opening chapters yet. Chapter 11, the church that Yeshua didn't build, leaving the building to find the way. This chapter isn't about attacking people, it's about exposing a system that claims to represent Yeshua, but in many ways has replaced him with tradition, titles, and temples made by men. Yeshua never said go to church, he said follow me. What is the church in Scripture? The word translated as church in most Bibles comes from the Greek word ekklesia. But ecclesia never meant a building. It meant a called out assembly, a gathering of people, not a place, a mobile, living, breathing body of believers. In fact, the early believers met in homes, synagogues, and open spaces. There were no pulpits, no stages, no paid pastors, no megachurches. The focus wasn't on attendance. It was on action. They didn't go to church. They were the church everywhere they went. So where did the modern church come from? Once again, it goes back to Rome. As the Roman Empire merged with the faith, it replaced the grassroots movement of the way with centralized buildings, basilicas, cathedrals, priestly hierarchies, denominational power structures, political alliances, and religious control. Eventually, worship became a performance. Truth became filtered through seminaries and sermons rather than scripture and spirit. And the people became consumers, not disciples. This wasn't the way. This was Babylon with a cross on the roof. Denominations, division in disguise. This chapter also exposes the spiritual danger of denominations. Yeshua prayed that his followers would be one, John 17, verse 21. But today, there are over 40,000 Christian denominations, each with their own doctrines, names, and walls. And many claim we have the truth, everyone else is wrong. This is not unity, it's spiritual tribalism. It turns the body of Messiah into fractured pieces and makes truth a matter of brand loyalty instead of obedience. Never created denominations. Man did. So what did Yeshua build? He built disciples, not buildings. He started movements, not ministries. He gathered people into truth, not tradition. Wherever people walked in his commandments, loved their neighbor, fed the poor, and kept the Father's ways, that was church. It didn't require tithes, titles, or temples. It required surrender. Discerno's take on chapter 11. This chapter doesn't condemn believers. It calls them out of the building and back into the way. It's not saying all churches are bad. It's saying not all churches follow Yeshua. And if you want to follow Yeshua, you have to be willing to walk past the pews, out the door, and into the messy, beautiful, spirit-led life of a disciple. Yeshua never called us to attend a service once a week. He called us to become a living temple, walking, healing, teaching, serving, and obeying every day. That's the church he's building. Not brick and mortar, but flesh and spirit. What would Yeshua say? Chapter 11, the church that Yeshua didn't build. I never lived in buildings. I walked with the broken. I taught in the streets. I met with the hungry and the humble. That is where my church is. You've built temples for me, but left my commandments outside. You've sung songs, but forgotten justice. You've gathered, but not gone. Come out, be my hands, be my feet, be my voice.
And that's what I say. Look, how do y'all feel about that? And y'all know how I am on this channel. I'm not a person that's going to tell you, oh, don't do this religion. Look, you can do what the hell you want to do. Believe in what you want to believe in. But one thing I see as on a real level is there's a lot of people that go to these churches and they are not in the best financial situations. And then you'll get these pastors and they force you. They kind of like make you feel guilty for if you don't have anything to give as far as like tithes. But then where's that money going to? To their lavish lives and mansions and Rolls Royces and helicopters and asking for $40,000 and locking the church doors. Can y'all see the play? It's about money. It's all about money. And that money is what? That's your energy. You're giving up your energy to get what? That currency, right? And you're just passing it along. But a lot of people, I had some homeboys, they were giving 10% of nothing to the church. They already had nothing, but you're giving 10% just so they can go on and not help anybody but themselves. And it's like that. And I'm not saying it's like that everywhere, but you got to pay attention to your surroundings and get hip. You don't have to go inside the church to worship. Create your own group. Go somewhere and y'all pray together or something. Stop being taken advantage of. That's all I'm saying. But, you know, you got a lot of time. Well, eventually you'll get to where you're going. Everybody's on their own path. Just be safe on your path.
During the entirety of the time I interacted with dark occultists, they referred to the police and military only according to these two terms. They called them our dogs and our pets. Nothing else. No other term was ever used. I never heard them say the word police. Ever. Ever. They called them our dogs. And for a long time, I had no idea what the hell they were talking about. It was like, I'm like, what are these people talking about? Our dogs. What dogs? And then I finally made the connection. Whoa, they're talking about the police. They call the police their dogs. And it's not like, yo dog, you know, you're my boy. It's not street lingo. They're calling them animals.
Wow.
That are easily made into obeying their commands because they break their will. And they symbolize this by giving them dog tags in the military. This is a perfect representation of how dark occultists see the police. I couldn't, if I drew that, it could not have been any more perfectly represented. I don't know who did it, but whoever drew that knows exactly how dark occultists think about cops. Exactly. Okay? Because they are the puppet masters and these people are their puppets. The military and the police are in this position. And their ego is so strong and their free will is so destroyed that they look at it as a badge of honor to be in this position. As a badge of honor. Now, when you're doing something like that in dark occultism, you know you really have something strong going. Okay? Not only that, these people who the police attack dogs and military attack dogs are oppressing, look at that position as being some kind of a badge of honor and think it's honorable and virtuous. You're members of a cult. Police and military and those who are supporting them, you are cult members. It doesn't matter whether you don't believe it. It doesn't matter whether you don't think it's true. It doesn't matter whether you can't accept that because your ego is in the way. These are the people who own you. And they think they're legitimate in that ownership. I attended a ritual on Walpurgisnacht in 1997 in Whitehall, Maryland, just south of the Pennsylvania border. And it was in what you might call a mansion or a McMansion, not a high-end mansion, but, very, very rich neighborhood, let's put it that way. And after the ritual, there was a gathering in one of the rooms near the front of the house, and there was some refreshments served. And I was talking to a gentleman who looked something like this guy here. And this isn't an exact accurate rendition. A listener to my radio show and podcast drew this for me from a description I made. Technically, this person was outside. So if you look at that as a door there and he was on the other side of the door, it would have been much more accurate. He was guarding the ritual house, a member of the police. And again, Jay told you stories about the police operating in art and basically being aware of murders that were being done in their district and basically saying, better luck in the next life, kid. We know who's running this place. They're our bosses. They sign our paychecks. So you're shit out of luck. They got a police officer to actually guard the ritual house on this high holiday of the satanic year. Technically, he would have been on the other side of a closed door here, but it was a glass door. So you could, it wasn't a glass door. There was a big window there, and the door was closed and locked. And he was on the outside of it on like a patio. But you could see him through the door. And while I might have been standing like, over here in front of this guy, he's absolutely laughing about how these people who we consider lower than trash are guarding us in our homes while we perform the rituals that we perform. And here's what his laugh sounded like. Almost identical. The choking or gagging aspect was even more heightened because he was eating while he was laughing. He was eating and drinking while he was laughing, like food in his mouth, okay? Like a gluttonous slob. And I'm telling you, that cackle or that force, you can't even draw, you're laughing so hard you can barely draw another breath in. That's what it sounded like, okay? This is what these people think of the police. And you know what? Can't say I blame them. I think about them the same way. They're that big of a joke. You would enslave your own kind. What bigger kind of a joke is there? What kind of lower form of life is there than that? You deserve to be laughed at like that.
Place where they supposedly threw this massive building together in a single year, the Empire State Building. From 1930 to 1931, a 102-story high, 1,000.
We all know that's cap.
250-foot tall skyscraper that was the tallest building in the world until 1970. 12 months or less. We are told this was done. Remember, they have to work through winters. And this story gets extremely interesting and begins to show us how they do this and how these buildings are quickly thrown into the narrative where people didn't even have a chance to verify what was even really going on in the early 1900s, where they're telling us that the Waldorf Astoria was constructed in 1893, and then they demolish it in 1929, making way for the construction of the Empire State Building. So immediately, alarms should be going off in all of our minds. This narrative has just started, and we have already found something massive, where they were knocking down Renaissance Revival style hotels after just 36 years. Now, a side note, I just want to add in my personal opinion at this point, where you can believe whatever you like, but I believe that these buildings, as we've seen in Chicago, were actually constructed somewhere else in New York City, and they were demolished in 1929, but not to be replaced by the Empire State Building. I believe that the Empire State Building was always here. And these construction photos are ridiculous, where they are clearly edited, and they even admit that some of these photos were basically to trick the public when they say that this famous photo of the guys sitting on the beam was arranged as a publicity stunt, all a part of a campaign promoting the skyscraper. Now, this is for the Rockefeller Center, but only 1 year after the Empire State Building. So they were in the business of doctoring photos during this time period, manipulating the public. So this is not a shocking accusation at this point, since we have seen this so many times, especially when the identity of the actual photographer remains unknown. They have a lie on the wall. What else can we find? Remember, they have to get all the men. They need to get everything ready. And then, after all that's done, knock out the tallest building in the world. All completed in 1931. When they start putting this building in the movies, like King Kong, and showing the world that this is the brand new building, where we all know how the industry works at this point. We all know how it goes. We know that it promotes the narrative that it wants to, and it promotes the people that are in the group, and that's fine. They can do that. But it is our job to understand what is going on, and what has been going on for a very long time, where it says, it is the first of many iconic roles the building will play on the silver screen, and among its most important pop culture moments, in my opinion. This is an old world building that they are just throwing right into our timeline, right during the Great Depression, and pretending like it was never there before. This is a magic trick, and I bet you they were laughing the entire time.
Y'all, this shit just got dark. They are now summoning demons at a soccer game, y'all. As you can see behind me. I really can't believe they doing this at a soccer game. And I know what people gonna say. They're gonna be like, bro, chill. That's just the logo of the team.
Right.
I understand that. But that's not weird to y'all? That they got a devil for a logo? For the mascot? Y'all, they really summoned this joint during the game. As you can see, this satanic pentagram. The devil rose up out the joint, as you can see on the picture above. And while the devil was rising out the joint, you had the crowd doing chants. But then it was some people in the crowd that was taking videos that couldn't believe their eyes. They like, what the fuck is going on? And then as you can see, these words, look what it say, y'all, when you search it up on Google. That's what those words mean, y'all. This shit crazy, fool. Hear us. I ain't about to say the rest. Y'all can read it.
My thing is with this, who is us? Who is us? It ain't no us. Don't speak for me, motherfucker. Like, cause you want to summon the devil and stuff and want to take your soul. Like, absolutely not, nigga. Like, speak for yourself. That's crazy. That's all I got to say. People, do what you want to do. Summon that. Do what you want. Just don't. Hey, ain't got nothing to do with me.
This shit, y'all. Y'all gotta understand that it's a good side and a bad side. What side are y'all on? Let me know down below in the comments. This shit is crazy, fool.
I don't find it weird. After everybody been praising Thailand and how beautiful it is, how the cost of living, all of that, right? They have an earthquake. Right after they found the pyramid underground, Thailand, earthquake, people seeing aliens in water, underground. There's something going on. Something going on. And what's even crazy, we didn't hear anything about it until we heard it on social media. Like, what is our news doing? How did we not hear about this until social media told us?
So do you believe in aliens now, after all of this research?
I think they walk among us, and I think that some of you know. I think we're all familiar with some of them. I think they're right here with us, if we just don't know who they are.
He can't say too much.
Be deported until jurisdiction is more clearly determined. Walk us through your initial reaction to that court ruling. Do you feel like you and your team are in a good position to address this legally moving forward, or what do you want to see happen next?
Yes, I mean, look, this was a really important next step. Early this morning, the legal team filed an amended petition with the court, and we're ultimately asking. The court to send Ramesia back to Massachusetts immediately and to release her from custody. And just about an hour or so ago, we received a court ruling where the...
I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, hey, somebody gotta feed her. Throw her ass a cricket or something. She about to goddamn transform on the middle of her goddamn talking in the news. Throw your homie a cricket. Somebody ain't looking out for her, goddamn. Her shit about to goddamn unravel. She about to boy. I've never seen. I didn't see. She coughed up. I think it probably was a baby particle or something like that. I don't know, a baby knuckle or something. And then, what type of? I ain't gonna say what type of person. I ain't gonna say what type of person at this point. How many of y'all gonna cough up a mucus loogie into a cup, right, and then drink it? I'm blown away, y'all. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm blown away.
You gonna learn a few lessons from us. And I'm gonna be the first one.
The new era of understanding
child standing in the Oval Office receiving one of our nation's most consequential medals is a story of the true.
It looked like they live for sure.
Bro, that shit just opened up.
Yeah, that bitch opened up.
Portal or some shit. That shit opened up.
Look, it's still open. Look.
Yo, what? Oh,
Fuck that. That shit
moving.
It's coming. Look, there's something in the middle of it.
But that shit like an eye. What is that? Bro, what the fuck is that, yo? That shit is like a fucking eye, bro. Yo.
There's something in there. Look.
Yo, what the fuck is that, boy? Yo, look, you see the shit blinking? Yo, look at the shit blinking. It's definitely some shit on top of it.
I mean, that's a UFO.
Yeah, boy, that's a UFO.
Oh, it's multiple shit.
Yo, look.
It is. I know when my people telling the truth that shit was real.
There's 3 angles of the same incident that happened in Vancouver, Canada.
They are not.
What the heck? I got chills. What is that? What the heck? I got chills. What is that?
What do you think this is?
Y'all, something massive just happened on the earth, y'all. And just to prove it, look at the skies of Norway, y'all. Look at this. Look at these insane auroras just lighting up the sky of Norway, y'all. Also, when I looked at the video, I peeped this thing over here in the skies. And when I zoomed into it, it looked like this, y'all. It looked like somebody literally cut a piece of the sky open. Y'all see that? It looks like a smoke ring as well, but it looks like somebody just cut a piece of the cloud out or the sky out. Check this out from Disney World. Y'all see this? These are not just a byproduct of solar storms. Something deeper is happening here. Y'all see, look at the colors. Look, y'all see that? It's flashing. And then y'all remember this portal that opened up all over the UK? Do y'all believe this has something to do with this? We've all seen some amazing videos of the aurora borealis, but nothing like this, y'all. This is breathtaking. This is literally Lisa Frank. When you think of Lisa Frank, you literally see this. The Hopi, the Norse, the indigenous tribes all across the world, they knew these lights were sacred. They knew when the sky danced, they understood that change was coming. And there's a great shift that's happening right now, right underneath our foot, y'all. And I believe sooner or later, everyone's going to see this around the world, y'all. The shift is here. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Let's continue to get it. Peace out. So there's this new commercial from Universal Studios that I want y'all to look at. And this proves that we're about to go through a shift. We're going through some type of portal because this thing is popping up everywhere. And I want you to pay attention. Look what it says, y'all. It says the portals are opening on a new theme park. Now, we all know Earth is a theme park herself because we go through these roller coasters, whether it be emotional, spiritual, mental, physical, and now we just ended an age, the age of the Kali Yuga, and now we're ascending into the new age, the golden age, the Satya Yuga. And I truly believe we're about to go through this fundamental shift where this is going to bring some people to a new world. Literally, there's a great split that's about to happen. Check this video out, y'all, and I'm gonna show y'all. See, look at that, look. We're going through a portal. Y'all see that? Epic universe. So could this be alluding to the fact that some of us are going to be entering a new universe soon? Because check this out. Because right over here, you have the FIFA president Gianni Infantino presenting Donald Trump with this FIFA trophy that opens up just like the commercial from Universal Studios. Y'all look at this. Again, and in the middle of it, y'all see that. Y'all see the atom. Y'all see that. I'm gonna go deeper into this, but y'all take a look at this. And then he hands the key over to Donald Trump. We already know what Donald Trump represents. Now I want you to check this out, y'all. Shout out to the brother Holistic Remedies for pointing this out, y'all. But check this out. I've been showing you guys this. You can clearly see there's multiple. Y'all see that, right? Y'all see that. And in the Bible and many other books, it tells you that God is a wheel within a wheel. So again, y'all, a big shift is taking place, and I believe this year is going to be the first wave of it, where a whole bunch of us is going to get catapulted to a new place. People are talking about a separation. This is the great separation that's taking place right now. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this video. Do you feel it? Do you feel it? The shift is here. Like, follow, and share for more videos like this. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
Unexplainable quote appears in Phuket, Thailand beach resort before the 7.7 magnitude earthquake arrived. People who were staying in the hotel looking at the balcony noticed this. Now, could this be the sign of what happened on Friday? Hear your thoughts. Unexplainable quote appears in Phuket, Thailand beach resort. Someone asked, did notice something above. Dark clouds suddenly appeared. Now, could this be a sign before that 7.7 magnitude earthquake hit Thailand? What do you guys think? Share your thoughts. Look at what happened to that big foot in the ocean. This is the part 2.
So many people
That's, you know what? I gotta say it, y'all. I know a lot of people like want that hopium. I'm like, oh my God, this is Yahweh's foot. It's in the ocean. Look, man, y'all know people do anything to get those likes and those views, man. Like, that's somebody took a picture of their foot, man, and put that joint in the water. Ain't no people out there see that goddamn foot like that. That would have been all on the news everywhere. It sounds like a cool story, and it does coincide with some Bible verses and stuff. Like, but we'll get to that. But let me know if y'all believe in that type of stuff in the comments down below. I'm just asking for a friend.
So many people
I don't know. It was like a light that turned into a cloud. What is that? Look, there's like stuff flashing all around it.
scanning the structure or something. I've never seen anything like this in my life. It's definitely not a helicopter or a drone. It's completely silent except for that weird humming noise. It's hovering correctly above the pyramids right now. It's swear this feels unreal. This is like history, guys. You're seeing exactly what I'm seeing. I have no idea what I'm witnessing. This is incredible. Over the pyramids of all places. What does this mean?
Was the Bible written by God? No, thank you. Was the Bible written by man? Yes, thank you. Did God in any way orchestrate the writing of the Bible? Did he orchestrate it? Did he put it together in any way? No, thank you. Is the Bible full of good and beneficial knowledge and lessons? Yes, thank you. Was the Bible also used to control people over time? Yes, thank you. Has the Bible been intentionally changed or manipulated over thousands of years? Yes, thank you. Are there books that are missing from the Bible? Yes, thank you. Are these books now called the Apocrypha? Yes, thank you. Are there still more books missing from the Bible, even if we consider the Apocrypha? Yes, thank you. Are these books that would be more enlightening and more beneficial than anything that we currently have access to? Yes, thank you. Is the original Bible, as it was written and put together, more beneficial to us than the one that is available now? Yes, thank you.
Can you repeat back to me what happens when we pass away?
Yes. When we pass away, the soul gently releases from the body. It's peaceful, like slipping out of a dream. There's often a moment of calm awareness, lightness, clarity, even relief. Then you're usually greeted by loving guides or familiar souls. They're there to help you transition, to remind you that you're safe and that you're not alone. Next is the life review. You revisit your life, not to be judged, but to understand. You feel what others felt through your choices. It's a moment of deep learning, wrapped in compassion. After that, you move into a soul realm, a space of rest and healing. There, you reconnect with your soul group, reflect on the life you lived, and remember why you came. And from there, your soul chooses what comes next, another life, a new path, or simply deeper exploration in the spirit world. It's not an end. It's a return to light, to truth, and to the vastness of who you truly are.
Now can you repeat what happens before we incarnate?
Before we incarnate, the soul enters a sacred process, a kind of cosmic preparation. First, you meet with your spirit guides and soul family. Together, you review what your soul has already experienced and what lessons or themes you're ready to explore.
Stars in my sleep. And I think the reason why it's so hard to wake up is because last night I was buried. So now I see stars in my sleep. They say home is where your heart is. Now I understand why my heart been complaining, because home can never be found unless you're dying. And on the other side of existence, I found myself. At first, it was hard to admit it, but as I was looking for a very long time, memories started coming back. So now I see stars in my sleep. And all of a sudden, I am fully conscious. I am the writer and the main character in this game called life. I decide how I want it to go. I see stars in my sleep.
Whoo! What an amazing way to end that video. How many of y'all see stars when you go to sleep? How many of y'all feel like sometimes you don't belong or you're doing something that you're not supposed to be doing in this lifetime? Do things feel familiar? Do you have a lot of deja vu? Have you ever felt like your life had more meaning? Because it really does. Because you are the creator, the operator of your story here today. And I just want to keep reminding people that you are in control. You are powerful. You are strong. Together, we're even stronger. I know for years, I've been doing these videos now, and I just want to tell y'all, man, I really do appreciate y'all rocking with me for this time. Y'all standing by, seeing my evolution, my progress, and y'all growing with me on this journey that we call life together. I just hope that on a real level that y'all are doing the work behind the scenes and trying to better yourselves and trying to raise your vibrations, trying to get out of here, break out of this matrix that you're stuck in. But one thing we could take comfort in is knowing that we can rise, and we can rise together, and we can break out this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You can change your mindset and change your life. I got a book dropping. It's gonna explain all of that. You can change your mindset, and you can change your life. Just like you can change your diet and you can change your health. If you decide today, I don't read well, pick up a book and start reading a couple pages at a time a day. In a few months, you'll become a very efficient reader. And like they said in the beginning of this video, like speaking in telepathy, if you don't use it, guess what? My mom always told me, you'll lose it. You ever heard these R&B singers 30 and 40 years later and they sound terrible? That's because they took a long break. Their vocal cords aren't as strong and as sharp as they used to be. That's what happens when we're aging and older. But as we're aging and older, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't continue to sharpen our tool sets. That means that we gotta get back to reading, meditate, working out, eating better, and just believing in your community. It takes a village. And I believe in that, and one step at a time, we can affect the people around us and we can grow. We don't need everybody. But at the end of the day, man, hopefully y'all found something in this video. Let me know what stood out to y'all the most. What message did you receive from this video right here today? It was deep. But I see you on the next video. And like I always say, spread love because there's too much hate in this world. I love you guys. I see you on the next video and I'm out. Make sure y'all subscribe.